You know, we're standing right on the edge of a massive shift in how businesses get built and how they run. And I'm not just talking about a small change. This is something so fundamental, it's not about doing things a little bit faster. It's about creating companies that can, well, practically run themselves.
Okay, so check this out. Let's start with a really wild idea from a startup called Swan AI. Their CEO basically announced this jaw-dropping goal. They want to hit $30 million in revenue, with just the 3 founders. I mean, how is that even possible? Well, instead of hiring people, they're building what they call an intelligence network of more than 20 AI agents. It completely flips the whole idea of growth on its head.
And look, it's not just some crazy startups thinking this way. Even the tech giants are getting on board. Take Shopify. A memo from their CEO got leaked, and it made one thing crystal clear. Using AI isn't optional anymore. It's the baseline. The new rule for every team is, before you even think about posting a new job, you have to ask, wait, can an AI do this instead? So all of this brings up this huge question that we're going to dig into today. Are we actually watching the birth of the autonomous company? You know, a business where AI isn't just another tool in the toolbox, but it's the main workforce.
So how in the world is any of this even possible? Well, to get it, we need to look past the kind of AI we've all gotten used to and explore this newer, way more powerful version that's starting to emerge. It really boils down to one crucial difference. We're all pretty familiar with generative AI, right? Like ChatGPT. You give it a prompt, it spits back some content. But this new thing, agentic AI, is totally different. It doesn't sit around waiting for you to tell it what to do. It actually initiates actions on its own to achieve a goal. It's kind of like the difference between asking a researcher for a report versus telling an employee to go and launch a product. The key word for agentic AI is autonomy. We're talking about systems that are literally designed to make their own decisions and carry out really complex tasks with very little human handholding. They don't just answer your questions, they actually go out and get stuff done. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's the shift from a passive tool that creates things for you to an active worker that does things for you. It seems like a small difference in wording, but the implication is absolutely massive.
Okay, so if this agentic AI is the engine, what's the vehicle it's powering? Well, that would be a completely new way of structuring a business.
The big idea here is something called the autonomous business model, or ABM for short. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a self-driving car. The human leaders, they're the ones who set the destination. That's the big picture strategy. But the whole network of AI agents, they're doing all the actual driving, the steering, the accelerating, the braking, all the little moment-to-moment decisions needed to get you there.
And you can see that journey right here. Most businesses, they start out completely human-driven. Right now, a lot of companies are in that middle phase, the hybrid model, where AI helps people do their jobs. But the final destination, the end goal, is a truly AI-driven model, where humans are taken out of the loop for most of the day-to-day operations. And hey, this isn't just some big abstract theory for giant corporations. To make it super concrete, let's look at how regular people are already using this stuff. They're building these small-scale autonomous systems to generate passive income online. A really popular way to do this is something called the affiliate flywheel. It's basically a 3-part system that runs on its own. First, you've got an AI traffic engine that goes out, finds valuable keywords, and just writes the content to pull in an audience. Then, step 2, an AI content stack, takes that one piece of content and boom, it multiplies it into videos, articles, social media posts, the whole shebang. And finally, you have an AI automation layer that schedules everything, publishes it, and tracks all the data, running 24/7 without you lifting a finger. And the results? They can be pretty amazing. There was a case study about a beginner, someone named Sandy, who built one of these flywheel systems completely from scratch. Get this, by her second month, it was already pulling in over $3,000 in passive income.
Okay, but here's where things get complicated. As this incredibly powerful technology just explodes into the mainstream, it's slamming headfirst into a world where, frankly, the rules just weren't designed for it. And this is creating some really messy and very human problems.
I mean, if you're trying to build a business on this stuff, you run into a huge legal roadblock almost immediately. If you use an AI to create a piece of art, or write a blog post, or make a video, can you actually copyright it? Can you protect it legally?
And that just opens up an even trickier can of worms about ownership, right? If a machine is the author, then who actually owns the rights? Is it you because you wrote the prompt?
Is it the tech company that built the AI in the first place? Or, and this is the wild one, does nobody own it? Does it just instantly become public domain? This quote is a perfect example of how fuzzy the law is right now. So, a raw image that an AI spits out by itself generally can't be copyrighted. But, and this is a huge but, if you take that image and put it into a larger creative work, like a comic book or a storybook you wrote, then the whole book can be copyrighted. It's a super subtle but really critical distinction.
So what's the bottom line, at least for now? Well, in the US, pure AI output doesn't have human authorship, so you can't copyright it. But the company that made the AI can give you a license to use it for your business. Of course, you still have to respect existing IP. You can't just go create a picture of Mickey Mouse and start selling it. And maybe most important of all, none of this is set in stone. It's all being fought over in court as we speak. So the ground underneath all this is pretty shaky.
All right, so where is all this heading? What's the end game? Well, when you have multiple autonomous businesses all operating in the same market, the very nature of what it means to compete starts to change.
And that leads us to this fascinating and honestly slightly unnerving concept called synthetic competition. This is a vision of a marketplace where the main players aren't teams of humans. They're AI-driven businesses that are interacting, reacting, and competing directly with each other, in real time, at speeds that no human could possibly keep up with.
So, in a world like that, how do you win? What does competitive advantage even look like? Well, it's not really about having the best product or the slickest brand anymore. Instead, it's all about building and defending 3 powerful reinforcing feedback loops, or moats, that protect your business.
See, winning in this new game isn't about having the best static plan. It's about building the fastest learning system. The first moat is compounded intelligence. The more your AI does its job, the more data it gathers, and the smarter it gets in a cycle that just keeps accelerating. The second is precision execution. Your AI can test, fail, and adapt millions of different strategies in the time it takes a human team to schedule a meeting. And the third, and maybe the biggest one, is ecosystem control. The real power comes from owning the platforms and the rivers of data that all these AIs need to run.
And all of this leaves us with one last, pretty heavy question to think about for our own future. In a world of automated companies and synthetic competition, what exactly is the role of a human leader? I mean, what does it even mean to be a CEO when your biggest competitor isn't another person, but a constantly self-improving algorithm?